Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Makosi Today. You can see I'm so excited, and the excitement is in my earrings, the excitement is in my hair, the excitement is in the books, the excitement is in their air. So we've been told that you can have a conversation with anybody you want to talk to in this whole wide world. Yes, 7 billion people. You can talk to anybody you choose. How do you do that? By reading their books. So if they have not written a book, you can't have a conversation with them. But if they have written a book, you can have a conversation with them. And this year, I decided I'm going to have conversations with Michelle Obama, with Trevor Noah, with Sharma, with Tony Robbins, by reading their books. I am going to start with Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. Now, I have not always been a fan of Trevor Noah because his comedy, really, when you hear how he takes the piss out of people, or he takes the mickey out of people, sometimes he gets really hard on them. So I've never really been a fan of his comedy. But since he started the Daily Show in the States, I was like, let me pay attention to this guy. So about 2-3 years ago, a friend of mine, Sarah Marco, told me that she was reading a book, Born a Crime. This was, 2-3 years ago. And I was like, oh, Trevor Noah, I don't want to be giggling through his really sad jokes, so I'm not going to read the book. But this time around, I'd gone to Joburg for my checkups with my doctors, and I'm on my way to Harare to see my parents, and I'm going through the airport, and I see Born a Crime. I'm like, okay, let me see what kind of comedy he has. And initially, I really thought it was going to be so funny, but no. Born a Crime will teach you about the tribes in South Africa. It will teach you about apartheid. It will teach you about black tax, which my sister does not agree to calling it black tax. It will literally teach you about South Africa and South Africans. It's a good book to give as a gift as well. So if you're going to read it for yourself, give it to somebody else too. The other thing that Born a Crime sort of gave me was his relationship with his mother. A boy having a relationship with his single mother. It ends up with her in hospital, shot in the head, but there's a miracle around it all. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Go and get a book and read about it. So number 2 on the list, the second person I decided I was going to have a conversation with this year was Michelle Obama. Yes, we took ourselves to the beach, we had coffee, we took ourselves places with this book, 40,000 feet above sea level. And she talks about her father, her brother, her husband, her children who were born through IVF. Would you know that? And her mother. She becomes so vulnerable in this book. It literally feels like you're having a conversation with her. Again, it's another book you want to gift to somebody, and it's a book you want to read for yourself. Because sometimes when you look at Michelle Obama, you think she's strong, she's got it all. And I think she is strong and she has it all. But she also showed to me in our conversations the power of vulnerability. The third person I decided to have a conversation this year with was Sharma. Yes, Sharma, the author of The Monk Who Sold the Ferrari. But this year I spoke to him through the 5 a.m. Club. And the book actually changed my life because I started waking up at 5 a.m. I started literally putting myself first at the beginning of the day. And how it's evident that it's changed my life, it's because of reading a book like 5 a.m. Club. I decided to go with the YouTube channel that was just lying dormant for I don't know how many years, because it was started 6 years ago and we stopped. I think 4 years there was nothing going on YouTube, and it's the 5 a.m. Club that got me back in there. I started literally being more deliberate with my workouts. I started being deliberate even with the food that I eat. It's actually an amazing, amazing book to get. And if you also get to do the exercises in the books, you benefit much more from it. Did I tell you that I won the Outstanding Student of the Year award at the journalism course I did in Dubai? Results of reading books like 5 a.m. Club. So get yourself a copy and get someone a copy. You know somebody who does not like waking up at 5 a.m. So get them that copy and maybe it might change their lives. And the fourth person I chose to speak to this year, I speak to this lady every single year. I read all her books that come out every single year, conversations with Oprah, her magazines and everything. I decided I'll speak to Oprah through The Path Made Clear. And I found this book when I was on my way to Ghana to speak at the She Summit. So I bought 6 copies, 1 for me and 5 to give away. And the girls I gave the book to told me that the book changed their lives. And in this particular book, Oprah just talks about everybody is born with a purpose, but you choose to walk in that purpose. Get yourself a copy and get someone a copy. And if you've read The Path Made Clear, comment down below what you thought of the book. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Very simple, but absolutely amazing. It had features for people like Ellen DeGeneres, Jay-Z, Deepak Chopra, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Chopra, and all these other fabulous people who are making waves in their worlds. Part of The Path Made Clear talks about to live your best life, you have to become your best self. You can't run away from personal growth because your life can only grow as far as you grow. And finally, the book I decided to review today, out of the 12 books that I read during 2019, is Go Giver. I'm going to read to you the review that I wrote about what I took away from it. I think this was one of the most important books I read this year. So I wrote some stuff down and I'm going to read those things to you. Number 1, service is the sure path to success. The one who serves is the one who succeeds. So essentially, to be successful, simply find how you can serve the most people in the most efficient way. I mean, look at people like Bill Gates. He's serving the most people in the most efficient way. Look at people like Mark Zuckerberg. He's serving the most people in the most efficient way. So bring value to people's lives for you to get value in return. Expectations precede reception, meaning perception is projection. We get what we expect from people and life in general. If you have a negative outlook to life, you will have negative experiences. So work on your expectations. Giving is not only financial. We tend to think giving only refers to writing a big check, while in fact, it is much more than that. You can give time, you can give knowledge, and you can give love. And number 3, don't do good because you expect a person to return the favor. Stop keeping score, basically. When you are able to simply help others and give selfishly, you will discover the power of true influence. Influence comes from putting other interests first. Others' interests first. And then number 4, even though the central theme of the book is giving, he balances it out by mentioning the need to be receptive to receiving. Receiving is a natural result of giving, and he who gives must also receive. And by the way, if you give without receiving, you will run dry. Number 5, lastly, I'll mention value. He says true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. And I'll add that the cost of a thing does not determine its value. Value is bestowed on anything or anyone that meets a need. I gave my personal copy to a really good friend of mine called Demola. So if you get a copy for yourself, always buy 2 things. This is what I do with books. Every time I buy books, I buy 2. One for me and one for whoever I'm going to be telling about the book. Because usually once I start telling people about books, I remember last year or 2 years ago, I read a book called Outliers, and I started meeting people saying, oh, where can I get a copy? So now I just always buy 2. Every time I buy a book, I buy 2 copies. So until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Remember, readers are leaders, or are leaders readers.